you how to do a relocation from one state to another and what it's like when you finally do get to the place that you want to be, and then you find out, okay, well, this is the place I have chosen to come to. Let's see how it works. Stay tuned. So I've been here in Chicago since September. It is December now. As you can see, I got some of my Christmas ornaments up because it's almost, we got like a week or so until Christmas. So I've been here since September. The weather was pretty warm when I moved here, but now it's getting cold. So I actually moved from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia to Chicago. It was actually September 10th when I moved here. So far we're doing a relocation. I actually came here through a job transfer. I work in healthcare. So I was able to, from the job I was working with in Georgia, they actually had locations here for me, and I did an interview. I had one day to do an interview and to find a place at the same time here. And that's something I will talk about here, is that it's very competitive to get housing. So it's something that you definitely have to do a lot of planning and definitely do a lot of research as to what areas that you want to stay in. I ended up staying actually in the western suburbs, is what I ended up finding, because I actually another thing you need to do when you are wanting to relocate is to have several times that you've actually visited. So one thing I did is I came here probably about 6 different times. I actually visited Chicago, and I went to different places each time. So some parts of the time I was in the city, some parts of the time I was in northern suburbs, different places. I found that this was better for me to be just in the suburbs instead of the city life. I felt like it was a little too much for me, so I was like, okay, well, let me see exactly where I would want to work at. I actually, the transfer, when I got up here, I actually found other jobs, and that's another thing about here, I will say, is that there are so many job opportunities here, and especially if you're in the medical field. And Atlanta is very competitive there in a sense that they really don't want to really pay you anything. That was part of the reason why I needed to relocate, was because I just financially was just really struggling really bad there, and I needed a fresh start. So definitely right now is December. Like I said, when I moved here in September, it was pretty warm here, and they actually had a really long summer here. So I was thinking, oh, so it's not going to be that bad. Maybe I'll be lucky and not have to deal with negative weather. Nope. Today, actually tomorrow, it's gonna be like -3 or something here. So another thing too that I would say is you definitely have to get your winter clothes, or whatever clothes that it is that of the area you're going to relocate to at that actual place. I actually had bought some stuff in Georgia, and when I visited, I think it was my first and second time, it just did not work very well. So I ended up having to buy gloves, scarves. Not at the one that's lining inside. It covers up my face with the buttons here. It has flaps on here to close up if I do have something in my pockets. I had to get gloves that are actually good for if you're using your phone. That's always helpful. So that's what I ended up doing. So another thing I would say is, when you are moving to a place, look at all different areas. Another thing too is, like, you don't really have to have a lot of money. I know that's something that a lot of people should probably say, is like, oh, you gotta have all this money to move. I can't move because I don't have the money. I technically had $300 to move to Chicago. So when I moved here, it took a little bit of planning, because like I said, I had $300 to my name. And so it does kind of help that, you have family members that might be able to help, and like I said, when I got here, I started working the first week, so I didn't really miss any paychecks. like I said, my situation was I was relocating, so I actually got a paycheck right before I got here. But when you think about all the stuff you have to buy when you get here, you know, because I drove from Atlanta, Georgia to Chicago, so pretty much whatever could fit in my car was what was in there that I could take. So everything else that I didn't, like a bed, other stuff that, you know, a TV, like couldn't fit in my car, I had to buy when I got here. So a thing that I would say is, like I said, pretty much you're going to have to buy all your stuff when you do relocate, unless you have a lot of things from where you're going to and you can afford to do, you know, the moving situation. But if not, to be honest, I just packed up everything in my car, drove here. Like I said, I did actually have a roommate, so I actually went on to different sites like Roomster is one, and Craigslist. I know Craigslist is like, but that was my situation because I had 3 weeks to try to find a place, sign a lease, move here, you know. So it went by super fast. Like I thought 3 weeks was going to be, you know, oh, I got time, but it really wasn't a lot of time. And everything started to kind of work out in my favor as time. You know, for me too, I'm also, you know, I'm a young professional. I'm like, what am I, 33? So that was another thing here, was that there was a lot of growth here and there's a lot of advancement here. So once you know, it doesn't matter if you're coming here through a job transfer, even when you get here, just get with a temp agency. They're going to find you a job. I've been liking it here so far. There are some pros and cons I want to go over since I've been here. What have I been here now? Is it 3 months, 4 more months, something like that? So here's the thing. Biggest pro, of course, is like I already said, there's a lot of job opportunities here. Number 2, I like the nightlife here actually. There's always bars somewhere and there's always restaurants. That's the thing too. If you are like on a diet, oh my goodness, it's like so difficult because everything here, I'm in the Midwest, so everything here is big portions. I haven't been to one place that bad food was served. Like every place I go to, it's like food is so good, you want to eat the whole plate of whatever you order. And it's like really difficult. Everything would be, the people are not bad. I really thought they were going to be, you know, you're thinking that Chicago is like, you know, and I do sometimes go down to Chicago area and see how the people act. And I actually, you know, haven't had any bad experiences with anybody. The cons. Let me get to the cons here. There's a lot of stuff that I just wasn't prepared for. So one thing I wasn't prepared for was the parking is crazy here. You have side parking where there's a lot of restrictions. There's time restrictions. There's certain times now. It's snowing outside. If it gets to a certain level of inches, you can't park on the street, or they tow your car, not just give you a ticket. And everything is always $150. I notice here too. And they have a lot of, another con with going with transportation is it's kind of a pro and a con actually, is that there is public transportation everywhere. So I'm out here in the suburbs. You know, if you're from Georgia, you know that if you're not anywhere near the city, MARTA or whatever will not come to you. So here I have like I think it's like maybe like a block away or so. That's where, you know, my where I can actually have public transportation, where I can get on the bus, I can get on a train. They do have the L here, you know, so I'm really actually close to a lot of things. So even if I didn't have a car, I still would be able to go to all of my clients, you know, that I need to, and still be able to do what I need to. The other thing is when you get closer to the city, you're gonna have to definitely pay for parking. Free parking is like where that at, because a lot of it, and the thing is about the city too, is that they're having a lot of budget situations, so their budget is really, really small. So it's like they're trying to find ways, and one of the things they're going to be doing pretty soon here for 2017 is that they're going to have a lot of these free parking areas that you can't go to are going to now start charging. So that's not good. But, you understand that they got to find some kind of way, because raising taxes, people are going to be really upset about. And they already, I think, did that not too long ago. And people were just up in arms. So they're not trying to do it again. but they got to do something else to get the money. So that's kind of a thing there. That's kind of a pro and a con, is that they do have public transportation everywhere at all times of night. But it's a con for me because I'm not used to having people just walk out in the middle of the street. I don't think they know what crosswalks are here for some reason. So that's another con here, as part of the thing that kind of happens here too, is the crime. But definitely, whenever you're relocating to a place, these are things you need to, this is where your research is. You need to research as to where's the crime really at. Is it more so, in the city? Is it more so in this area? So that's something that you have to look into. And also, like, where all the schools are, located. Is another thing too, because do you want to get hit with every day hearing the kids getting out of school and stuff like that? But if you do have kids, it might be a good thing, because your kid all they have to do is just walk a few blocks to get home. So it's all about research when you do find a place, but it's not necessarily about the money too much. It's just researching before you go to a place. It's really what I would really recommend to somebody. Another con too is there's a lot of tolls here. Oh my God, I'm not used to that either. There's so many tolls here. That I guess if you come from New York, it'd probably be easy, you understand. But from Georgia, we don't really have tolls. So I don't really, understand the whole thing of the I-Pass. Every time that I look at, I think it's like 294 and 94, I think, are the tolls here. And they're always backed up every time that I'm out where I need to get to my clients. So I don't really see a benefit in that. So another thing is traffic here gets very backed up on the non-toll roads, because everybody's thinking the same thing, probably like me. I ain't got the money for that, or I just really don't want to deal with it, because every time you go to it, it's always backed up anyways. So that's something that I'm not really used to that. And thank goodness that all my clients are very close, so I really don't even need the toll road. If there's anything else that maybe you want to ask as to me going from the south to the north, put in the comment section as to if that's something that, any questions that you have of my journey that I can help you with. I definitely can elaborate a little bit more on it. Other than that, if you're in a situation where you need to relocate or start your life over, or just, be in a better situation, number one thing, research where you may actually want to relocate. Second of all, is finances, of how you're going to be able to do it. Like I said, I did a job transfer. Is how I ended up being here and not being stuck in Georgia for the rest of my life. So, other than that, thanks for watching, and have a great day. And if you're going to do that move, go ahead and make that move.